My opinion on BDS is that its rhetoric is, and its supporters and organizations that support BDS have published anti-Semitic, whether it's caricatures or slanders or quotes. And there is a huge difference, in my opinion, between criticizing a state and its policies and criticizing its civilians. And I feel like, and if I may speak in slang, don't get it twisted, but they do get it twisted. So when I think of anti-Semitic, I personally follow the 3Ds. Okay, so the 3Ds. By the way, I just have a notebook, so if anyone's wondering why I'm looking down, it's just because I'm reading my notes. So the 3Ds was formulated in 2003 by an Israeli politician named Natan Sharansky, who is also head of the Anti-Semitic Board. And it was adopted by the United States Department of State in 2010, and also replaced by the working definition of anti-Semitism in 2017. The 3Ds, the first one is the delegitimization of the Israeli state and its civilians. The second is the demonization of Israel and its civilians, or Israel and the Jewish population that that make the Israeli population. And the third is double standards. So if you'd like, we can dissect each D. Each D that I have also I brought examples, and then we can kind of back and forth, if you're okay with that, Izzy.
Sure. Yes. Let's do that.
So I think that I'm going to start with the demonization, just because it's the one that gets me the most. So the demonization of Israel and its people. A lot of supporters and organizations have published very racist and anti-Semitic caricatures. And what defines itself as demonizing is when there is propaganda that is much like Nazi propaganda. So for anyone who doesn't know, Jews were depicted as octopuses, as pigs, huge nose. Apparently, I don't fit that criteria. Tail, horns, drinking the blood of children. That is a very huge one. And these are things that have been published. So hold up. There we go. So I want to start with members of Justice in Palestine. So the members of the Students for Justice in Palestine is a huge Palestinian activist group that works in university campuses. That's where they're most prominent. And I just copied down a couple of tweets that I saw. I don't have full names. I just have usernames. And I hope it's fine that I say it. But so one tweet was by Ismail, a member of the Students for Justice in Palestine. And he wrote, "The world would be so much better without Jews in it." The second one is a quote by someone named M. Lol, "Let's stuff some Jews in the oven." Another one was from Mohammed Al-Hams, who said, "What's the difference between a Jew and a pizza? The pizza leaves the oven." Another one is by a girl named Dalia, who uploads a meme of Hitler who's dressed as Adele, and there's a cover for the song "Pour Fire to the Rain," so you pour fire to the Jews. In UCLA campus in 2015, members of the Students of Justice in Palestine, Students for Justice in Palestine, basically challenged a student by the name of Rachel Beda, questioning if she was even fit to serve as a member of the student council solely because she was Jewish. At least that's how it was reported. So that is just a couple of examples on how at least members that support the BDS have demonized Jews, have basically depicted us as subspecies. There's also Badil, which is a very prominent organization, for those who don't know, who drew caricatures of a stereotypical Orthodox Jew. He had a pitchfork that was shaped with a menorah. That menorah was filled with blood, and under this, gremlin-like Jew, were two Palestinian children in which he was feeding off their blood. And I have a lot more examples, but I think that's just in a nutshell. When Israelis and Jews see that their supporters are actively supporting and, publishing these kind of imagery of the Jewish people, it makes it very hard for any Israeli or for any Jew to support that demonization, especially because of World War II, the Holocaust, understanding what that effect had to the people. It's heart-wrenching for me. Now, when talking about the caricature of the Palestinian children and the Jew who was holding the menorah pitchfork and feeding off their blood, I understand the nuance. I understand the critique. I understand the critique that, a lot of Palestinian children, I don't know numbers, so I don't want to say anything, but have died at the hands of the Israeli government due to the conflict. I understand that sensitivity. What I don't understand is why Jews are depicted as such if the critique is towards specifically political Zionism and the effect it has had on the Palestinian people. Why regress and go back and Jews or Israel is always compared to the Nazi Germany, which in itself, I will say, debatably is anti-Semitic. To others, it's not. That's exactly how Palestinians feel. And at the end of the day, who am I to say to a Palestinian what they can or don't feel? But to call us Nazis and then use Nazi propaganda on us, it's just, I can't wrap my head around it. If the critique is towards political Zionists and Zionism as it's known today to the Palestinians, which is, the ethnic cleansing and demographic reversal of a population that once populated the land of Israel, Palestine, then if anything at all, again, I'm not saying do it, but if anything, then the critique and these caricatures should be for Zionists and not a Nazi propagated Jew.